Welcome back to CBSN, our continuing coverage on this primary night. Earlier today, our Nancy Cortez had a chance to catch up with Hillary Clinton in West Palm Beach, Florida. Here's part of that interview.
Madam Secretary, what does a good Tuesday night look like for you?
Well, you know, this is a very unpredictable election season. A good night is Democrats voting out to vote, turning out to vote for me. That's what I'm hoping for across all these states. You know, a lot of talk has been about complacency. People think they know who's going to win. They think I'm going to be the nominee. They may not be turning out. And we just can't afford that. Right now, before we get the returns from tonight, I have more votes than anybody else. I have 600,000 more votes than Trump. I have 1.6 million more votes than Senator Sanders. But we're not done yet, and people need to turn out and express their view, and I hope they turn out and vote for me in the hours we have left.
What do you say to that voter in a manufacturing state who says Bernie Sanders has just been more consistent on trade?
I say, number one, the only multinational trade agreement I ever had a chance to vote on, I voted no. We share opposition to the TPP, but more than that, it's not just what you're against. What are you for, and what have you ever done to create good jobs and rising incomes? And I have a record on that. I worked really hard in the Clinton administration to support the economic policies that did more to help more Americans than anything else in recent times. I worked to bring and help to keep jobs in New York. As Secretary of State, I traveled around the world, and we increased exports by 40 to 50%. I've produced good jobs for Americans. I can do so much more when I'm president.
If he's the one who's closing these huge gaps in the polls, does that mean that he's the one with momentum?
Well, I just finished telling you I have 1.6 million more votes, and I have many more delegates. And so I think, look, it's a great contest, and I'm thrilled that Senator Sanders and I are running a campaign on the issues compared to the insults we hear coming from the other side. We have a lot of the same goals. We both want universal health care coverage. We both want to make sure that, you know, bad actors don't hurt our economy again. But we differ in how we can get there and whether we can get there. And I think that, you know, my plans and my experience is just better suited to actually doing all parts of the job of being president.
Speaking of the insults, you've been very emphatic about the fact that you think that Donald Trump is inciting violence. Do you and Bernie Sanders need to be more emphatic with your own supporters that it's okay to protest, but not to disrupt, and certainly not to be violent themselves?
I place the blame squarely on Donald Trump. He has incited this violence over months. I have to, you know, just call him out and, you know, tell him that it is not in the interest of our country to be dividing us versus them, to be encouraging aggressive behavior, to be offering to pay the legal bills of someone who punches a protester. I believe in peaceful protest. I believe, as I think anyone who's ever run for office knows, you will be protested. Mm-hmm. I have protesters. You treat them respectfully. You ask that your supporters, you know, treat them in the same way. You be peaceful about it. If they continue to disrupt, they are peacefully escorted out. That's not what happens in Donald Trump's events.
Back in 2008, you won in Missouri. You won in Ohio against a pretty formidable candidate. What's different now?
Well, we're going to find out tonight, but I did win. And then President Obama turned around and won in the 2008 general election. So I feel very good about where I am in this process. I feel very optimistic. I'm grateful to everybody who is supporting me. We're going to come out of the night with an even bigger lead in delegates. So we're going to end up being the nominee, but we, you know, need to make sure that people come out and vote, and that's my main request.
Do you think that Rahm Emanuel has hurt you in Illinois?
I don't believe so. I think that my views on where we stand in the country, what I've done my entire life for, are what people will evaluate me on.
Are you going to go have a Guinness at Mar-a-Lago after your watch party tonight?
I don't think I'll be invited.
It's right down the street.
I don't think I'll be invited.
But really, are you tweaking him a little bit by holding your party here tonight?
Not at all. I had no idea where he was going to be. You know, this is...
But this is Trump country. This is Trump Central.
Well, let's find out whether it is or not, okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Great to
it.
talk to you.